Here's what's making news at midday. As the war continues, Russia is taking steps to annex parts of Ukraine. How the Biden administration is responding. Plus, it's asthma peak week. What you can do to stay healthy and avoid triggers. Hello, everybody. Good to have you with us on this Friday. Mark is off today. He'll be back on Monday. First at noon, the 22-year-old Madison man accused of sexually assaulting a woman on State Street over the summer is back in court today. The last time Ivan Smart was in front of a judge, he was ordered to undergo a competency exam. Smart is accused of groping a woman while she was waiting for her ride share. The assault continued inside a car before she fought back and was ultimately able to get out. Smart's competency hearing is happening at this hour in Dane County Court. 4 teens could be facing adult criminal charges after a fight at Madison East High School that left another student injured. Police say the group attacked a 16-year-old boy in an empty classroom during lunch hour. 3 fights actually happened involving Madison students this week. 2 were off campus, but on Wednesday, one of those fights led to another one inside East High School. Last fall also saw a series of fights and other safety concerns, the worst involving dozens of students. Police using pepper spray to break them up. But MMSD leaders say despite the latest incident, the school is making progress.
What I would say is to our families, just be confident that we're working with these students. Be confident that we're working with these families in order to get them to resolve these conflicts.
District spokesperson Tim Lamont says they have dramatically increased student access to social, emotional, and mental health services and trained staff to identify those students in need of the extra help. Well, let's get a check on the weather this noon. Greg is watching the forecast. A little cooler out there today, Greg.
Especially this morning, we actually had some frost up to the north. You look behind it, you see the temperatures that were going on, but right now current temperatures are 50.
There you go. Don't leave your mics on.
Oh, is it not on? Is it not on?
Okay, actually, we're going to switch.
All right, can you hear me now? There we go. All right, looks like I got the mic fixed, I think. Is that good? Good. Overall, you see the temperatures right now. We're looking at the mid-60s to the west, low 60s around Madison area right now. As we zoom in, you can kind of see the temperatures holding on. We have cloud cover beginning to increase. That's the system that's going to approach from the east and bring our rain chances. Right now, we're just seeing mid-level clouds, but the winds have turned around from the south. So overall, it'll feel a little bit warmer today. The precip's going to have a chance to try to get through here, but it's drier air. So a lot of that you see out to the west is probably going to dissipate, not really reach it, but a few showers are going to try to push in here through this afternoon. Most areas will probably stay dry and just cloud cover, and that's really the trend. You see temperatures holding steady and maybe slowly falling with a shower or 2 out there, but like I said, most areas will stay dry. So overall, the things we know, showers through Sunday, off and on. It's not an all-day rain, definitely not, and Sunday and Monday, basically windy conditions, and this cool pattern looks to continue next week, and I'll fill you in all the details here in a little bit.
All right. Greg, thank you. We'll check back in just a little while. Russia is now taking steps to try to solidify the territory that it has captured in Ukraine. But the U.S. is pushing back, saying attempts to annex any parts of the country are illegal. Deborah Alfarone has more.
Voting is underway in Russian-controlled areas of Ukraine on a referendum to join Russia. The separatist leader in Donetsk cast his vote in front of cameras. We are returning home, he says. We are returning to mighty Russia. The referendums are illegal under international law, and the U.S. has called them a sham, saying the outcome of the vote to annex Ukrainian land is predetermined.
When that's complete, we can expect President Putin will claim any Ukrainian effort to liberate this land as an attack on so-called Russian territory.
Russian President Vladimir Putin vowed this week to use all weapons systems available if his territory is attacked. The Biden administration has warned Russia publicly and privately against the use of nuclear weapons as Putin struggles to turn the tide in the war in Ukraine. The Kremlin announced this week it is mobilizing up to 300,000 new soldiers.
What's not clear is whether or not it could significantly address the command and control, the logistics, the sustainment, and importantly, the morale issues that we've seen Russian forces in Ukraine experience.
The news was met with anti-war demonstrations in Russia. Police arrested more than 1,000 protesters. Thousands more decided to flee the country rather than be called up.
Not really lots of Russian people want to fight and want to be mobilized and want to go to the army.
Moscow denies there is a large-scale exodus, but there are traffic jams at border checkpoints. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
Russian officials say the country has lost an estimated 6,000 soldiers, but the U.S. military estimates that number is closer to 80,000. The White House is taking steps it hopes will fight the country's drug problem. Officials announced nearly $1.5 billion will be used to fight substance abuse. The grants will be used to fund prevention, treatment, recovery, and harm reduction services. The Biden administration is also planning to host a National Recovery Month summit that will celebrate those who are recovering from substance abuse. The U.S. has seen 108,000 fatal drug overdoses over the past 12 months. There's more to come today on News 3 Now at noon. When we come back, what health experts say you can do to prevent asthma attacks this fall. Details when we return.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. It's Furniture and Appliance Mart's scratch-off promotion. Come in for your scratch card worth up to $5,000. Plus, buy any LG washer and get the dryer free. Plus, 60-month special financing. Plus, fast delivery at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley off the Beltline and East Springs Drive.
GTW is different from the competition because
we bring 3 offices at once to one case.
A team of excellent lawyers from around the state
to bring justice for the needs of our clients.
All in to win. Gingras, Thompson & Walks.
Save on your home's energy costs with help from Menards. Seal up gaps and cracks with Loctite Tight Foam. This sealant insulates effectively and will expand to fill gaps up to 1 inch. Right now, all Loctite sealants are 11% off. Now is a great time to insulate ahead of the cold weather with Knauf fiberglass insulation. Soundproofing insulation offers year-round comfort and helps lower energy costs. Get 11% off all Knauf insulation now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
You heard the Jingle Man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go!
At a company, the culture comes from the top. Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times over sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. Women who worked for Michaels' company said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses. Higher-ups at Michaels dismissed the women as liars and even fired those who spoke out. Is that what we need for Wisconsin? Tim Michaels, too radical, too divisive.
Hey, we're here at the local farmers market where Informed Choice Insurance Agency is offering fresh, hand-picked local Medicare. What do you mean when you say shop local for Medicare?
A lot of Medicare health plans have benefits that are specific to your county. So why would you call a national 1-800 number when your local Medicare plans have all the bells and whistles the national TV ads promise, only better?
Don't be fooled by national TV hype. When it comes to your Medicare options, keep it local with Informed Choice Insurance Agency, and their services are free.
Ashley's Fall Scratch-Off promotion is happening now. Come in now for your scratch card that could be worth up to $5,000. Plus, get 78% off clearance items. Plus, 60-month special financing. Plus, doorbuster deals. Plus, fast delivery. Don't miss these savings. Ashley.
Tesla is recalling more than 1 million cars because of defects in their automatic windows that could injure passengers. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the recall affects Model 3 cars from 2017 to 2022, as well as Model S, X, and Y vehicles manufactured over the past few years. Tesla will push a software update to resolve the issue, which makes power windows more responsive to obstructions such as fingers. Mortgage rates rose once again in the last week. Freddie Mac's mortgage market survey says 30-year fixed-rate mortgages hit 6.29%. That's a 14-year high. A year ago, 30-year mortgages were averaging below 3%. The U.S. housing market is feeling the impact of the Federal Reserve's rate hikes aimed at easing high inflation. The central bank's 0.75 percentage point hike this week was its third recent increase of that size. FedEx unveiled its plans to raise shipping rates starting in early January. It's to counteract a recent dip in demand, causing a decline in the daily number of packages it handles. In its earnings release, the company says it will raise prices for most of its services by around 7%. It also says it hopes to save over $1 billion by reducing flights. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Dan Lieberman.
Let's check stocks at midday. The Dow has plummeted 690 points. The Nasdaq is off 263, and the S&P 500 is down 92 points at this hour. Democrats introduced a proposal that would restrict senior government officials, including lawmakers, Supreme Court justices, and their families, from trading stocks. Lawmakers' ability to trade stocks has been the subject of increasing scrutiny over the years. The proposal would strengthen disclosure requirements and increase fines to $1,000 per every 30-day period that a person is in violation of the rules. It would also require ethics offices to disclose when government officials comply with the rules. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building this noon. If you need some help, they're taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. There's a live look at one of our Call for Action volunteers in the studio. The volunteers are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so call now if you need some help. 608-270-2833, or you can submit a claim anytime online at channel3000.com. This week, the third week of September, is known as Asthma Peak Week. That's because it's a week where doctors often see the most asthma attacks in the country. Trinity Chavez has more on what you need to know to stay healthy.
September is the month where doctors see more people with asthma episodes and attacks around the nation. And the third week of the month is known as Asthma Peak Week. Kenneth Mendez is president and CEO of the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America.
It really has to do with kids going back to school. Their colds and respiratory infections, and those can be triggers for asthma. Add to that the fall allergy season. You also have leaf mold, and then wildfires, hurricanes that create mold, and all those things combine to be irritants for your asthma.
In fact, 25% of hospitalizations for kids with asthma generally happen around this time.
Doctors say there are things you can do to avoid asthma triggers. If you have fall allergies to ragweed and mold, keep your windows shut.
Make sure that you have healthy indoor air, so clean air. So use a certified asthma and allergy friendly air cleaner inside, because you spend 90% of your time indoors.
Mendez also says it's critical to have an asthma action plan.
It basically has on there what you should do to monitor how you're feeling and how you're breathing, what areas you're falling into, and what you need to do if that happens. So having rescue medication nearby, which is generally known as albuterol, and then knowing when to go to the emergency room.
And he says make sure you get a flu shot this fall to try and stay healthy. Trinity Chavez, CBS News, New York.
The Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America just released the list of the most challenging cities to live in with asthma. Detroit, Cleveland, and Allentown, Pennsylvania were the top three. Next at noon, we'll share today's ag prices, and Greg will have his weekend forecast. And then later on Live at 4, we'll sit down with the last Badger quarterback to win at Ohio State as this year's team gets ready to take on the Buckeyes tomorrow night. We'll talk to John Stocco today at 4.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale on now, with a huge in-stock inventory of top brands for every room in your home, including all new power lift chairs and always free delivery. The Portage Store's anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
Dear 2029, we look forward to seeing you. After our 160-point quality assurance inspections, we'll be Toyota certified used vehicles with 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranties. Not to honk our own horns, but the best new cars make the best used cars. Yours, Toyota.
To learn more about Toyota certified used vehicles, see your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at toyotacertified.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original windows. It's bone chilling.
There's no need to be afraid of old windows. Just call Feldco for 50% off.
It's the biggest sale of the season. 50% off Feldco windows, plus no interest until 2024.
50% off windows ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
I received a call that my granddaughter had been hit. She suffered a serious brain injury and nearly died. The driver should have been in jail. Mandela Barnes supports no cash bail that puts criminals like Darrell Brooks back on the streets. He's more worried about criminals than victims. Mandela Barnes doesn't have the judgment to keep our communities safe.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's the Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale on now, with a huge in-stock inventory of top brands for every room in your home, with Certa-Queen mattresses from $299 and always free delivery. The Portage Furniture Store's anniversary sale. Don't miss it.
Do you feel the level of energy in this place today? On the Jennifer Hudson Show, the brand new Bachelor is here.
Then Michaela J. Rodriguez stops by.
This is gonna be good.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3.
It all comes down to the final drive. News 3 Now brings you the big play highlights and scores from Southern Wisconsin high school football action. Don't miss the final drive. Fridays on News 3 Now at 10.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Pam Jahnke will be back next Tuesday. She's on a great trip right now to Scotland and Northern Ireland on a farm tour. So here are the ag numbers to wrap up the work week. The strongest storm in Canadian history. Hurricane Fiona is heading toward that country's east coast. Amy Kiley reports places in its path are bracing, while those in its wake are struggling to recover.
Every Nova Scotian should be preparing today and bracing for impact.
Canada could see its strongest storm ever this weekend. Forecasters say Hurricane Fiona is likely to hit the coast of Nova Scotia Saturday morning. They say its winds could spread out hundreds of miles.
When we see a storm going through the transition from a pure hurricane to a post-tropical storm,
we typically see those wind fields expand, so the storm actually gets bigger.
Nova Scotia Power says electrical companies are working together so they can send contractors to wherever Fiona hits the hardest.
As we get a better sense of the track, we will be drawing on those resources as well.
Before reaching Canada, Fiona is on path to brush past Bermuda. Meanwhile, back in Puerto Rico, Americans say it's not easy picking up what's left while waiting for help to arrive. President Joe Biden is promising that assistance.
Too many homes and businesses are still without power, without clean drinking water.
More than 900,000 residents were in that situation yesterday, making the island look like this from space. That's compared to a normal night. Biden says the federal government will pay for 100% of debris removal on the island.
It's going to help people start rebuilding their lives.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And Greg joins us now with more on the hurricane's path. Hi, Greg.
Hello. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. The one thing that we're going to watch is really for the U.S. concern. That's really for next week. Is that there's a Depression 9. It should be a tropical storm here soon. But that path right now takes it up to about Miami time frame. So that's something like next week that I'll have to keep an eye on. But that's still a ways out. You're talking about Hurricane Fiona. Right there it is. It's starting to show signs of transitioning or weakening from 4. It's going to go down to a Category 3 here soon. You can already start to see the western edge. But it is going to race up until Halifax is to the east as it becomes extra tropical and spreads out. And then the remnant low may actually get closer to Greenland here by next Tuesday. It won't be much by that time, but that's pretty impressive far north. Overall, for what we're watching, we got the system tracking east. We got rain that's spreading ahead of it. We've got cloud cover coming up. Southerly winds are starting to pick up too as we zoom in. This is kind of still trying to battle a lot of dry air that's still in place overhead, so it's kind of falling apart as it pushes east. But we'll start seeing some of this reach the areas here soon in a couple hours, but it's going to be spotty, not much. You look at future track, we see that wave kind of break up as it comes through this afternoon. So a few showers here and there, even for the high school football game, might be a shower, but most areas will stay dry and just cloud cover. Tonight we'll see another wave come across. And then Saturday, there you can see Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, another wave too as we get kind of into that northwest rotating low flow around the low that's centered to the east. So Sunday will be more windy, cloudy conditions and cool. So like I said, rain chances through this weekend aren't great, but it's not going to be really picture perfect weather either with the winds, especially when we get to Sunday. The winds are going to pick up out of the northwest, so it'll be quite windy day. Overall, you can see future track. There's that shower band coming through this afternoon through evening. Most areas will stay dry. Otherwise, temperatures holding steady in the upper 50s, low 60s. And then overnight, we're going to see another round come through, kind of the main front that comes through. It's not that impressive too, but that's probably the best shot to see rainfall tonight. Not in the way of much. And then tomorrow, we might see a break in the afternoon to see temperatures climb up a little bit into about the mid to upper 60s, but then we might see more showers come in the afternoon, evening. And then once again, you get the rotation coming around Saturday. We'll see more of that. And then Sunday, more or less just cloud cover, windy conditions, and overall, kind of just not a great weekend, but no, overall, not a washout either. So rain chances you saw there. Once we get past that time frame, we're going to be pretty good for the 10-day. As you see, temperatures should cool back off. We're actually looking at 57 degrees here, maybe by Tuesday. That sets up a potential frost, maybe. Try to mention that here for Wednesday morning, but definitely we could be in the 30s. And then maybe we might reach the 70s by the end of next week. We warm up, but the cool pattern should continue. And rain chances, like I said, this weekend are not all day, but it will be cloudy and especially windy Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
It's a nice stretch of weather coming. Sweater weather.
That's basically what it is.
Good stuff. All right, Greg, thank you. Today marks the grand opening of a bigger and better space for, what camera am I on? Animals in need in Rock County. The Humane Society of Southern Wisconsin has a 2-day event scheduled to celebrate their new location off County Highway G. The celebration runs from 1 to 5 today and 10 to 2 tomorrow. You can check out the new shelter along with all of the animals up for adoption. There's also a complimentary shuttle that will drive you back and forth from parking at Blackhawk Technical College. Still to come at noon, we'll check in with Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. He has a snack recipe that you might want to try this weekend.
Looking for the perfect thing to serve while watching football or binge watching your favorite shows? We've got it, and it's a no-fail every time.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It changes your entire world. I know because I was a victim myself. So to think there are people like Senator Ron Johnson in Washington who'd make it harder. Ron Johnson supported the Supreme Court's decision outlawing abortion in Wisconsin, even for victims of rape and incest, allowing doctors and nurses to be prosecuted. When I think about other victims and what they're going to have to go through because of Ron Johnson, he doesn't share our values. S&P is responsible for the content of this ad.
Now's the perfect time to get your roofing project off the ground with Feldco. As the seasons change, you want to be sure your house is ready for the harsh Midwestern weather ahead. For just $279 a month, you can protect your home and your family with a new Feldco roof. So get your fall started off on the right foot today with Feldco.
Roofing for $279 a month and soon. Hurry, call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
A trucking accident can be devastating and complex. Gingras, Thompson & Walk's law firm wants you to be informed. From the freight and trucking companies to the owner-operators, the liability can be unclear. Too many victims settle without understanding their rights. You need a law team like GTW, who has a history of winning cases with large settlements for victims, to investigate and advocate for you. Contact GTW lawyers for a free consultation. All in to win. Gingras, Thompson & Walks.
With Dad's arthritis, he needs extra help around the house, so I called a Grace. Yes, a Grace. With their agent home service, he can stay at home.
That's where I want to spend these months. With hospice care from a Grace, I can stay home with my dog and my grandkids and their laughter.
I had no idea laughter could be a part of my life again after Joe died. But through a Grace, I found hope and healing.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Look, we knew the other side would make up lies about me to scare you. Now they're claiming I want to defund the police and abolish ICE. That's a lie. I'll make sure our police have the resources and training they need to keep our community safe. And that our communities have the resources to stop crime before it happens. I'll bring back manufacturing. And I'll pass a middle-class tax cut. And if that's too scary for Washington, then so be it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
This is the time of year when we look for new things to serve when we have friends over to watch football, or when we're curled up on the couch binge watching our favorite show. It's easy, budget-friendly, and it goes together like this. We start by cutting half a dozen baking potatoes into wedges and seasoning them with some olive oil and a bit of salt. After they're well coated, we place them on a couple of baking sheets and pop them in the oven until they're golden. Now you want to make sure you flip them halfway through roasting so both sides get nice and golden. Now we place these in a large bowl and toss them with some wing sauce until they're evenly coated. Then we drizzle them with some bottled blue cheese dressing and finish them off with a handful of chopped celery. What we end up with is a dish that combines everything we love about our favorite wings without the bones or greasy fingers. Everyone's gonna love these, wing lovers or not. To get this easy recipe for our buffalo potato wedges, you know the routine, visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a wing dinger of a way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Dig in.
Thank you, Howard. Final check with Greg.
Yeah, we're having that showers come through right now. You can see on radar we have some stuff that is approaching, but other one we should see just cloud cover, and a few of those be able to reach at least western Wisconsin here in a few hours. Not going to be that much. You can see, even zoom in, most of that's probably not even reaching the ground, and if you see, Futurecast kind of fizzles that out too as it comes across, but still a shower possible this afternoon and evening. Otherwise, cool down continues for next week.
All right, Greg, thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. See you back here for Live at 4.